Yeah, that's series. That's it. That's it. We wish you farewell, Denver. And comeback kids. Not now.
Hey, like yes,
hey.
Hey man, look, I would say pack your bags and go back to Colorado, but hey, they're already in Colorado, so all they need is some spring cleaning. Because yeah, they need that man in the middle. They need that man.
They need that man in the middle desperately, especially when the man next to him. Well, not this picture, but the man next to him.
Which one, left or the right?
Not the MVP. Is struggling. Mm-hmm. That man was struggling.
Well, they wasn't giving me the ball. Like, if they give me the ball, then we win the game. You know what I mean?
They was giving him the ball, and he wasn't producing. Also, a former dunk contest champion. Oh, wait, he's not. Aaron Gordon was struggling as well. And worse than Michael Porter. A lot worse than Michael Porter.
Well, we haven't heard much in my estimation. I could be wrong, but I haven't heard much of Eric Gordon throughout this playoff series, really, to be honest.
No, because he's been struggling.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him.
He's playing really bad. The Nuggets they need a lot of more scoring to keep up with the Suns.
Yeah.
They're just not having that. Obviously, Jamal Murray's not there, so you're going to need other guys to step up. Mike Porter Jr. has been helping in that department in the regular season.
Yeah.
And in some parts in the Portland series. But he's past 2 games, he's been a no-show.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And they try to compare him to KD. What a disrespect.
Listen, come on.
What a disrespect.
Okay, come on, man.
I'm just saying, man, but you can't compare somebody like that to KD. That's disrespectful. But yeah, man, you right, man. He has been non-existent. Again, he's their third leading scorer when Jamal Murray's on the floor.
Yes.
But with no Jamal Murray on the floor, of course, or anywhere in the premises. Well, he was in the premises, so I can't say that. But in terms of playing with the basketball in their hands, he's their second leading scorer. And Jokic MVP, who was dominant today, last night, dominant. He needs help. Just like what you said, he needs help. He needs that. He doesn't have Jamal. He needs for you to step up. Everybody touts you as the star. You are a star player. You have talented skills. Yes, we know that. Your offensive package is really good. But what is going on? Why can't you show up?
Exactly. And the same thing with Aaron Gordon, even though Mike Porter Jr., obviously, you want him to be at that level. Aaron Gordon, he needs to stop settling. He needs to get into the paint. He needs to get into the post. I mean, he shoots a lot of jump shots.
Yeah.
And he's not efficient. He hasn't been consistent. He hasn't been getting in rhythm. He's been playing poorly offensively.
Yeah.
And we should get on him more than Mike Porter Jr.
Yeah, yes, we should.
Especially in this game.
I was gonna joke and say, losing in the dunk contest a couple of times kind of took his confidence, but let me stop. But yeah, Aaron Gordon, man, let me tell you something. I can understand if he's trying to stretch the floor, because he could stretch the floor. He's not a great jump shooter, but he's a good one. He's inconsistent with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's inconsistent with it. And my thing is with him is all right, fine, you're trying your best, but if you know that's not working for you, try a different way. You are an athletic person. Get into the paint, penetrate, and just finish around the rim. We're not telling you to dunk. Of course, you're not going to dunk all the time. Obviously, that's impossible. But if you could dunk, then that means you could lay up the ball at least. Please, you could lay the ball up. You could lay the ball up at least. If you can't do that, then something got to be going on. You can't always settle. And this is the thing. What I always say, I used to say all the time last year, like not on the pod, but all the time to you last year. Why a lot of these teams be thinking that they Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, settling for these threes like they like that? I was like, no. I say you weren't born as one of the great to be one of the greatest shooters ever. Stop thinking you could settle and like you could throw up a three and thinking it's going to be a prayer to go in. No, it's not going to go in. Stop settling. Get into the paint. Go to work. Because let me tell you something. That's what those guys do. Those great shooters do. They sometimes when they even though they keep shooting, sometimes when the three's not there, what they do? They penetrate and get to the rim.
They roll to the basket.
Exactly. Too much relying on the three, and it doesn't always work in your favor. Go ask Houston that.
Live by the three, die by the three. Yep, and that was a part of that game last night too, because the Nuggets shot poorly from deep.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's for Jokic. He got the MVP trophy last night. Mm-hmm. So once again, congratulations to him. And he was going out there proving it. I mean, what else can he do? He had 32, 20, and 10. What else can he do?
Well, now nothing. They down 3-0. I mean, 0-3. Because he there's only look at again, not everybody's a Michael Jordan, not everybody's a LeBron James, not everybody's a Kobe. There's only so much you could do. Not everybody's an Allen Iverson.
By the end of his career, we're gonna say not everybody's a Nikola Jokic.
Okay, yes. But in terms of those guys that I just named, right? Those guys at some point literally like willpowered their team to some form of success. Probably not a crazy form of success, but some form of success. But again, some form of success. There's only so much you could do individually. Unless if you Hakeem. But there's only so much you could do individually, No,
that's disrespectful to the Rockets team. That's very disrespectful to the Rockets team.
What?
That's disrespectful to Robert Horry, Otis Thorpe, Sam Cassell, Clyde Drexler, Kenny Smith. Don't do that.
All right, you're right. All right, I'll take it back.
Don't do that. That Rockets team was not just Hakeem and everybody else.
I'm sorry. You're right. All right. I'm sorry. I take that back. But yeah, Jokic has done everything he can. He's been doing everything he can since the regular season. Don't forget Jamal Murray. Once again, those beginning parts of the season, Jamal Murray did not show up in the production that we wanted him to show, and Jokic had to put in extra work in order to help get his team wins. And we're seeing that now with no Murray, of course. Again, even though the team has played better, but it's going to eventually have to come to a halt. And this is where it's coming to a halt. It's coming to a stop right now. This Nuggets team are the underdogs now. They have met their match in the Suns, and the Suns are extremely outplaying them in every way.
I mean, more than their match.
Exactly, more than their match, actually. So,
yeah. I mean, what else can Jokic do? I mean, obviously he's not a great defensive player, and he doesn't have a lot of stamina, a lot in the tank. As you can see when you watch him, he gets tired a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes that causes for his lack of effort on defense because of how tired he is when he tries to run back.
Exactly.
But I mean, when he's putting all that work in offensively, he needs some help offensively. That's why Michael Porter Jr. has to step up. That's why Aaron Gordon has to step up. I know Monte Morris stepped up finally. First time in this series he did.
Yeah.
But when you're going up against the Suns team, you're going to need more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And you said it. I don't know why I got to keep bringing this up, but you say it so many times. Jokic impact is greater when he's getting everyone else involved and not just himself. But you can see that, again, in order for him to get everyone involved, everyone has to have it going. Everyone has to be one. The only way you could get shots. Exactly. The only way you could get an assist is if somebody makes their shots. If nobody's making their shots, you're not going to get assists. You're not going to get your team on that roll. And it's not Jokic's fault. Jokic is doing his job to the best of his ability. The fault is on his teammates. The teammates is letting him down. And they need to apologize.
And another thing is that when they miss their shots, it's almost like the Nuggets just give up defensively. 7 in this game and in game 2, I'd seen it. They either complain to the ref and don't get back on defense, which leads to a wide open transition 3-pointer, which is most of the time for the Suns, or just a layup in the paint. They either complain to the ref or they just they don't go out there and put
more effort.
Yeah.
Well,
just because you miss on one and you got to get back.
Yeah.
You can't make it that easy for the Suns. They're already going to score.
Exactly.
You make it too easy at certain times in the moment, in certain situations.
Just look at some again. Let's talk about the Suns a little bit here now, because look how Devin Booker was scoring. He was going crazy. Fadeaway. You saw that beautiful fadeaway he held Eric Gordon. Well, that was beautiful. And then you talk about the fact who he sized up. I forgot who he sized up on the wing, but it was lethal. What the things that Devin Booker was doing in this game was just Kobe-esque. And then now you got to talk about CP3. In those closing moments, well, not the closing moments, but in the fourth quarter, you're down and you're trying to get back into the game. And this dude, Chris Paul, is keeping his team up. And you want to talk about giving up on defense? Hezzy, to the right, mid-range pull-up. Good. Hezzy, to the right.
Mid-range pull-up.
Good.
That was so frustrating to watch because he did the same thing over and over and over and over. I mean, it was on a screen and Jokic just sat in the paint. He didn't come up. So over and over, Chris Paul had an open mid-range shot. Either a wide open or open mid-range shot.
And it's crazy because it's like, that's his bread and butter. That's his bread and butter offensively when it comes to shooting. Like, you leave him at the mid-range, it's like you just calling for disrespect.
Yes, so either Jokic has to know himself to come up. I mean, it's happened to you so many times, Jokic.
Exactly.
Or Mike Malone has to say, hey, when they do this, set up a game plan. When they do that, trap him so he doesn't get to that spot, or come up so he doesn't get to that easy pull-up. Because it was just an easy pull-up every single time.
Wait a minute. All I gotta say is, once again, Hezzy, mid-range, pull-up. Good.
Something has to happen, but I mean, Jokic was so tired and drained that it probably was the reason why he just sat.
Exactly. All I know, I hear Richard Jefferson saying you can't guard Chris Paul like that. Well, you could say it loud. You could say it louder because they still weren't listening. Yeah, I don't know how to go on with that. That's at this point.
Yep. And then we talk about the 3-point shooting of the Nuggets. Well, the Suns, their 3-point shooting has been spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to look about, obviously, Chris Paul, Jay Crowder. Mm-hmm. I mean, Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne, Torrey Craig. Okay. I mean, they didn't shoot a lot of threes last night, but when they shot him, they were efficient with it. They made their threes count.
Yeah.
And it was deadly to the Nuggets because every time the Nuggets tried to get back in that third or in that fourth, it was just the Suns always had an answer. Yeah. Always had something. And most of it came in 3-pointers, and that was deadly.
Yeah.
I mean, Cameron Payne, or I think it was like they had came into the game in back-to-back threes.
Yeah.
I know Cameron Payne hit one of them, but I think somebody else hit another too.
I could be wrong. Probably Mikal, but I could be wrong.
So, like, I mean, the Suns can just turn it on when the Nuggets were kind of fighting back, trying to get back into that game late.
Yeah.
When they're down by like 11 or down by 8 or down by 10. I mean, just quick buckets. Next thing you know, it's back to being 15.
Well, it's crazy, but hey, you already alluded to it. We bye Nuggets. Like
Yep.
we it's crazy. We may see the Suns make it to the finals since
What's the
93?
conference finals?
Well, the Western Conference Finals.
You meant finals. Okay.
But now
let's not get ahead.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I forgot there's a team up in AKA called Salt Lake. I don't know what kind of place is called Salt Lake, but yeah, it's a team that's fighting.
And that team, they're not giving up yet. The series is not over. The series is not over.
Stop.
The series is not over. LA our way. LA our
Buffalo
way.
Braves their way.
Listen. The series ain't over. They were down 2-0 in the first round. We saw what happened.
That's you comparing the Mavs to the freaking Jazz.
All I'm saying is that the series isn't over and they have a chance.
Okay, let me tell you this right now. See you in Buffalo. Good night.
I doubt many people know what you're talking about when you say Buffalo.
Yeah, you better do your research.
Anyway, back to the Nuggets. Unfortunately, the Nuggets do lose game 3, which means they are down 0-3. And anybody who knows anything about NBA basketball in the playoffs means that when it gets to that situation, yep, that is a situation you don't want to be in. Nobody wants to be in because no one has ever come back down 0-3.
We'll ask both the Heat and the Bucks.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying.
The Nuggets could be the second team to get swept.
Yeah, unfortunate, but hey.
Hopefully it doesn't happen though. But it's looking like that. It really is. And the Suns, well, might as well write the ticket now. Going to the West Coast Finals. Because the Suns, the Nuggets, there's no way. There's no way. I like I said many times, I'll have to see it. I'll have to see it to believe it because I don't think that will ever happen. I really don't think it will happen in my lifetime. A team coming back down 3-0.
Impossible.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Sorry, MVP. Look like you're going home. Or staying home, depending on next game. But let's talk about another series.
Yes, let's do it.
The Sixers and the Hawks. Big game in Atlanta. Those boys looking to take the lead in the series. They were undefeated, and they only played 2 games, but undefeated in the playoffs at home. And matter of fact, they were on a 13-game winning streak at home. Coming into the playoffs as well, including the playoffs against the Knicks. Well, first off, Danny Green got hurt. So we want to say that he got hurt. He left the game. He didn't return. Hopefully he's fine. He's been struggling a lot. Yeah. But when he does get it alive, the Sixers are going to need that since his 3-point shooting. Also, he's a good defender. So even if he is struggling offensively, he can bring that defensively. So hopefully he comes back, and hopefully when he does come back, he plays well. Hopefully it's not anything serious. So I just want to get that out the way. Yeah. As for the game itself, well, yeah. Yeah, the Sixers are different.
And this is they moving on to yes. See you in the A. No, thank you. Well, I see you in the A. The association. Yeah. Sorry, Trae Young, you got limited so bad.
Well, he started to play a little bit better, but yeah, they did a great job guarding Trae Young
better
for
than
a good portion of this game. Better than New York. Yep, you're right about that.
New York, a quiet place.
Atlanta about to be a quiet place too. So.
Yeah, well,
but continuing on, I mean, yeah, they just they really can't stop it.
yeah, man. And you know what's crazy? And it scares it doesn't shock me, but it makes me happy, but it also scares me at the same time. This dude is dominating, and the dude he has an injury.
Yes,
he has an injury.
He's playing injured.
He's playing injured. You love to, and why I say it makes me happy, because this is the toughness, this is the grit that many legends had before him has shown, having to battle through injuries and stuff like that. It also scares me because it's just like the severity of it. Could it get well? It could get worse. Come on, he's playing physical contact sport. It could get worse. That's what scares me about this. But the fact that the dude is playing on a torn meniscus is crazy, and he's dominant. Just like what you said, Clint Capella, John Collins, that got no chance, nowhere near, nowhere near.
I mean, they even tried double teaming him, and he still was able to make a play. He's also something about M.B. He's also a really good passer, underrated passer.
Yeah,
that I don't think a lot of people give him credit for.
Yeah,
and he's very calm when he gets in those double team situations. Because Atlanta tried. I mean, they really tried to double team him, but he didn't panic.
Yeah. Well, because when you're at his skill level for a big, like, you know, and you like, you know, the game slows down for you. I feel like you hear many people say the game slowed down for them, and I feel like for Embiid, when he's in that mode, whether he's in the post or in the triple threat position, anywhere on the floor, his ability makes, and him being in the league for a while now, being in these situations, I feel like the game is more slower for him now. So as a result, he can make those right reads, make those right passes and stuff like that, communicate well. And I feel like that's the reason why those passes, don't get me wrong, he's been doing those passes before, but I feel like the passes look more crisp, look more sharp, they look on point, and I feel like everybody's connecting.
Yep, and when you got guys like Seth Curry on the court with you, that also helps. And Tobias Harris had another great game, stepping up big time for them. I love to see him playing well. You know, he had some playoff struggles in recent years, but this playoffs he's been playing a lot better, and I love to see it. He's a valuable piece to this team. He's a key piece, and if he's effective and efficient, I mean, they really have a chance of going even further. But back to Embiid, if you look at it, you'd be thinking, oh, most of his points, I mean, came off the free throw line. Yeah, that's true, because they can't guard him. Every time he gets the ball, and he's also great at drawing fouls. But even besides that point, I mean, they have to foul him.
Exactly.
Because he's too good. He's gonna be too dominant. He's gonna kill you, or they're gonna end up trying to make a play, either trying to get a block or get a steal, and end up whacking his arm or hitting him, send him to the free throw line.
Yeah, man. Yes. Again, skill level. His skill work is amazing. Like, you know, they can't stop him. So, like, there's nothing that let me tell you something. Embiid is that guy, is that big, like, you know, where you truly and honestly don't have a game plan for him. You really can't have and especially this season, Embiid, you really don't have a game plan for him. Like, yes, Jokic is MVP, but I feel like there's like you can make one game plan to try to stop him. One game plan, just one.
Have him play defense.
Exactly.
And he's gonna get tired.
AD so injury prone. Now you can make up a game plan for him off of that.
That's disrespectful.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. But like, you know, Embiid, the way he's been playing this season is just like you can't have a game plan for him. You just gotta hope and pray he just has an off night, a bad night. Like he really ruining this for himself.
The game plan for Embiid is hope he settles.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's what limited his potential in previous years. He settled too much. But when he's aggressive, like we've seen this year, he's dominant. He's too good.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. But not just those guys stepped up. Harris, Curry, Embiid, Simmons as well.
Yeah.
Big time, especially in that third quarter, which that's when the tide turned in the Sixers' favor. Because Atlanta, got to a little actually no they didn't. But that second quarter, because they were down, they were playing down, they got back into the game in that second quarter.
Yes, they did.
But then the third quarter hit, and yeah, Sixers just
anyway. Because and you want to know why you bring up Simmons, and it's great how you bring up Simmons because again, we keep bringing up aggressiveness, and I'm not gonna say he wasn't aggressive in the first half, but in terms of offensive production, didn't really give much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his defense on Trae Young or his attempt to play defense on Trae Young was amazing. And it flowed right through into that third quarter, in which, once again, being aggressive defensively, and he was looking like the freight train in the third quarter. You know what I mean? Getting to the basket, getting into the passing lanes, doing all this, obviously playmaking. Like, you know, this is the Simmons that we praise. This is the Simmons we love to see. Getting at it on both ends of the floor. Once again, hey, I'm biased, but hey, again, I want to see that Defensive Player of the Year award in his hands. But we're gonna talk. We're gonna leave that alone because Gobert obviously deserved it still. But it's just when Simmons is like this, I'm telling you, you got Embiid doing what he does already, and Simmons is there. Say what you want. Yes, they got the spacing out, but say what you want. When those two got it going, unless if you outmatch them, they could always win this 9 out of 10 times. Always win this game 9 out of 10 times, unless if you outmatch them.
Yeah, and I agree. As for Atlanta, the reason why they even had a chance in this game mainly was John Collins. He played phenomenal.
Yeah.
Last game, his best game of the series. Yeah, his best game of the series. Because in game 2 he struggled a lot. John Collins, Trae Young eventually did step up later a little bit. Bogdanovich is good too, but the Hawks a lot of the time they rely on their 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that does end up helping them. This situation, though, it didn't because they were struggling. They could not hit a shot from deep.
Well, you already know what I said about so many teams settling and stuff like that, and player settling and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's different for the Hawks because that's been their game plan.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like they took a crazy amount. They didn't take like 43s. I mean, they only took 23 threes, which in today's NBA is not really that much.
Yeah.
However, when they shot them, they didn't make them. So maybe that's reason why they didn't shoot as much in this game. They tried to attack and get to the basket, tried to rely on Trae Young going to the paint, getting the floater, getting lobs to Collins and Capella, and getting inside buckets. But when they didn't miss, that led to Sixers going on in transition, Simmons being aggressive. They had Harris open threes from the rest of the team. And that's what majority of that third quarter was.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you said how, like, you know, they were trying to settle and attack and stuff. Well, I said settle. They were trying to attack and stuff. They were doing that a lot in the first quarter, in the beginning parts of the game. They're like both teams were really penetrating, attacking the rim so much, like, and they were both finishing. But you just said it too. In that third quarter, the Hawks couldn't hit shots, and that is a dangerous thing to do to a team like Philadelphia. Give themselves an opportunity to push the ball.
Yeah.
And that was the downfall for the Hawks, really. You gave Philadelphia an opportunity to push the ball. You know they got shooters, so they could shoot up in transition. You know they got Simmons, who's a freight train, and you know they got Embiid, who's a big who could run the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you basically asked out a little bit. It's just like you can't do that to Philadelphia. You just can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, two other players I want to give credit to: Dwight Howard who helped them maintain the lead in that fourth quarter a lot.
Yeah.
He played really well. And Korkmaz played well in the first half and in the third quarter. I mean, yeah, he was just shooting.
Shoot.
Yeah, he played great coming off the bench for them. They needed that. They needed that spark. They needed that shooting from them. And yeah, even though the Hawks tried in that fourth quarter to get back into the game, Sixers just proved too much for them.
Yeah.
As a result, they get the win in Atlanta and take the series lead up 2-1. All right. I don't think there's any news. No, I don't think there's any news. So let's just jump right into the predictions for tonight's game. Only one game. It is Game 3 in Los Angeles. The Utah Jazz coming off their home sweep, going into LA to battle the Clippers in Game 3. Who do you have in Game 3?
Clippers.
You have who?
I'm not switching. I'm not switching up. Don't think
I just want to know, who do you have? I didn't hear.
I got the Clippers.
You have the Clippers. Interesting.
Hey, I had this at least going to 7 games, didn't I?
If you have it going to 7 games, that means the Clippers can win it.
Nah, so I'll take it back. I gotta go into 6 games.
Come on, man.
I gotta go into 6 games. I'm sorry.
The Clippers have a chance to win this series. I don't think they're down.
Again,
They're down, but they're not out.
Again, Bob McAdoo. That's it, bro.
Most people watching this don't know who Bob McAdoo is.
You not lying. Like, you not lying. They said, how do you even spell McAdoo? I don't even know how to spell McAdoo.
Bob McAdoo was way ahead of their time. Well, ahead of our time too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got the Clippers as well. Danny Manning.
Yeah, Danny Manning. Well, like Danny Manning. Bill Walton.
That's more Portland. Yeah, you can ask Kareem about that too.
Leave Kareem out of this.
Listen, all I know is Bill Walton did vibes. That's all I'm gonna say. In 1977, 1978.
Both years, I believe. All right.
Boy, he wished Magic came into the league.
Don't do
it was a 3 years too early.
Well, hey, he had to get humbled though again before he went up big. Don't forget. Thank you, Dr. J. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Anyway, yeah, I got the Clippers. Clippers getting the game. They need this game. They really do. They can't end up like the Nuggets.
Please, Paul George, like, I love you too much for you to not show up. Like, please, like, I beg, I plead, pause. I'll get on my knees, like, please.
All right, calm down.
All right, yeah, you're right.
What you doing? We not.
And I gotta cut that out too.
All right. Oh, why you say these things, man?
I'm just saying, man. I just want him to. I just need for him to, like, please, like, I need, like.
No, I understand, yes, because Paul George needs to play well. He can't be too passive. He can't be settling. He needs to attack and attack and attack. He needs to take it to the next level. In game 1 was a bad game. Game 2 was better, but still not the way that you want him to play. Game 3 needs to be that step above the game 2.
Exactly.
He needs to come out and put it on a show.
Exactly.
If Kawhi doesn't. If Kawhi's just playing good, yeah, Paul George needs to put on a show.
Yeah.
Because that's what they need if they got to have a chance to win this series.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they're getting sent home in the second round, this close to go into the conference finals for the first time.
Well, you already know how I feel.
All right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Final thoughts. I mean, the Suns up 3-0, just one win away from going to the Western Conference Finals.
It's beautiful how the Suns team has bounced back since that decade. They chose well in the draft because people don't. I don't know if I think you remember it, but people don't remember. Devin Booker was the 13th pick. 13th pick, still lottery, but I can't remember who I was. Jamal Murray in that draft. Yes, Jamal Murray's in that draft, so he got it. Who else?
He got drafted by Utah, didn't he? Oh no, that was Gobert Mitchell.
That was Gobert Mitchell.
Gobert Mitchell got drafted by Denver.
By Denver, yeah, by Denver. I know Karl Anthony Towns was in that draft. I know D'Angelo Russell was in that draft.
That means Porzingis was in that draft. Jahlil Okafor, who went third, was in that draft.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Frank Kaminsky was in that draft. I remember some of that draft class. Mario Hazonia was in that draft. I remember that because I was a Knicks fan watching Porzingis. Watching us pick Porzingis, and I was like, "Who?"
Well, nah. People were saying "boo."
People were booing him.
Yeah,
and then they regretted it, and then I don't think we regret it anymore.
yeah, that's true. But it's really crazy because, they bounce back so well. They pick well. They pick well in the draft.
Mm.
Yeah, and they get blessed up because I thank you to what happened last season in the bubble and stuff like that. They get blessed up, get an opportunity to play with somebody of the caliber of Chris Paul, and now again they push into the conference finals in which they have been there since 2010, right? 2010 or
yep, haven't been there since 2010 when they lost to the eventual champions, Los Angeles Lakers, led by Kobe.
Yep. And now, and if they do even well, whoever they face, which is, of course, I got Jazz in the thing. So if they face the Jazz,
Jazz is too. Jazz too.
They could most likely make it to the finals since the last
93.
Yeah, since 93.
93. Yeah, and Chris Paul can be the second time going to the conference finals. Yeah. And well, let's not, like I said, let's just keep it there. Just keep it there. Let's not get too excited. Let's not get too excited.
Exactly.
But all right, that was all for today. So that being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
And also follow our IG and our TikTok down in the description below.
Yes. And once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
This is the Basketball Podcast.
Playoff edition.
Playoff edition.